Are y'all getting a picture now? Don't worry, they're going to actually be located all over the place. But they are at super concentration at the area of the axon hillock. Because if those sodium ions that rush in up here at the areas of my ligand, if that potential was strong enough to travel across the body, it's going to open voltage gates here. That's going to allow sodium to rush in. It's going to be able to travel, possibly, the length of my axon. If it travels the length of my axon, what is stored down here in these little ends? Huh? What? Well, the end is meeting something else. It's meeting another nerve, a muscle, or a gland. But what is stored in the very end, right down here? My neurotransmitter, and you were thinking acetylcholine because that's what we studied for muscle, and it's stored in the vesicles that get produced in the body that have traveled the length of the axon, waiting for that action potential so that it can push out and spit out its neurotransmitter. Now, electrified is going to be the fact that those gates are going to open or close. Because when we talked about the muscle, what was the only thing the gates could do? Open or close? Open. Now we're going to find out that moving those ions for the electricity can make the gate close or stop the action potential. Okay? So we're going to see that we have our axon. We're going to have, I call them the terminal buds, but I understand that that's probably not the right terminology, okay? But they're terminal and they're bud, okay? Just say it. All right? Now, they call them presynaptical terminals. That's just too much to try to push out. Okay? So my terminal bud. Now, located, now this is a important part about the structure of a neuron. What is wrapped around it? Now, this right here, it's created this little wrapping. Note that you got like section, 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 okay? It's a wrapping that is made by a Schwann cell. It's called the myelin sheath. Sheath meaning the wrapping, all right? We're going to find that in the peripheral nervous system, what exits from the vertebra, that's how they're wrapped. They are wrapped like this right here. Section after section after section after section. Wrapping is different in the central nervous system. But myelin, in and of itself, is very important. Myelin protects. the axon of the cell, which is very important. The movement of those materials, the protein that gets made, which is the product, which is the neurotransmitter, the way that we have to use it, or the way that it gets used, is it travels into those terminal buds, those presynaptic terminal buttons. So we call that axonal transport because it is traveling by way of the axon. The product of the cell will move in that direction. We need, just because it's a cell that is not duplicating, doesn't mean that they don't grow, because they do, okay? It doesn't mean that they don't need to kind of renew things and repair, because they do. And the cell can do that, just like other cells of the body. They just don't duplicate. So, we can have stuff that has given out, organelles, mitochondria, all that sort of stuff, okay, that the cell needs to get rid of. It can do that. It can make new ones. It can do that, okay? Sometimes movement goes in the opposite direction. It goes from the little terminal bud back to the body of the cell. It could be maybe the neurotransmitter gets recycled. Do you guys remember how the choline, acetylcholine, got sent back to the cell body to be used again? Okay? That would be a way of moving it from the little terminal end back to the body. Unfortunately, there are different viruses and other detrimental material that can travel that way also. Rabies. How, if a person is bitten by a rabid animal, how do they eventually die if they don't get the rabies shot? They're going to seize, they're going to foam at the mouth, they're going to convulse, they're going to be losing control of their bodily functions, they're going to be losing control of their body, period. It is a disease that travels up the spinal cord, up the axon. Herpes. When you have a breakout of herpes, let's think about genital, okay? When you look at genital herpes, the way that the breakout occurs, it occurs along the length of an axon. All right? You have a line that breaks out. Shingles. When a person breaks out with shingles, they break out along the line of the nerve. It travels in and up the spinal cord. So, some of the bad things kind of move in and go up, okay? Most of the time, the product, the neurotransmitter, made in the body and travels down. And this would be termed axonal transport. Take a break. Back at reserve.